Welcome to the University of Technology Mauritius, the second government university in Mauritius, established in year 2000. This year, the University of Technology Mauritius is celebrating its 24th anniversary. 24 long years of service in this country in the sector of tertiary education. Today, we have the pleasure welcoming the Director General of the University of Technology Mauritius, Dr. Dinesh Kumar Hariram, with us. Good morning and welcome, DG.
Good morning and thank you. Thank you to the MUS team. You're most welcome to the University of Technology Mauritius.
24 years of long service. How would you, kind of explain the progress, the pathways, and when you joined the University of Technology Mauritius till now, what are the work being done till date?
Well, 24 years, we can't summarize it within a few minutes. I think it's a long mandate. The university was set up in the year 2000, and it was through the merging of two public institutions, the MIPAM and CITRAC. And the whole idea behind setting up of the University of Technology Mauritius was to support the government and the industry in terms of capacity, so that we can, update the skills and competences of people from industry and also people from the government in the emerging technologies. That was the mandate that is behind the setting up of the University of Technology Mauritius. We've paved a long way since then. We have had 4 schools which have emerged. You've got the School of Business Management and Finance, which is today supporting mainly the financial sector. The development of the financial sector in Mauritius. We've got the School of Health Sciences, which is supporting, development of sports coaching programs, but also looking at health sciences in general in Mauritius. We can look at the details later on. We've got the School of Innovative Technologies and Engineering, which since the very beginning has been supporting, capacity building by offering capacity building programs in fields such as IT, ICT, digital technologies. And we have the School of Sustainable Development and Tourism. I think it's very unique for the University of Technology Mauritius. We have, I think in Mauritius, this is the only school which offers, programs, and was, this was right from the start, in the mandate of the university. One of the things that we had to do is to ensure sustainability of, activities within the country and providing resources to support sustainable development of Mauritius. So we've got the School of Sustainable Development and Tourism, which has been leading all our initiatives in terms of supporting companies in the development of sustainable business and ensuring that sustainable practices is part and parcel of our industry. Quite recently, we've set up the doctoral school, which is spearheading, the research initiatives of the university. We've been offering research programs over the last 20 years with, MPhil, PhD programs. And we are going beyond that with the setting up of the doctoral school, with the offer of a number of new programs and number of new initiatives in terms of funded research. The 24 years has allowed us to, I think we've got some 17,000 plus in terms of alumni. So we've got alumni from the University of Technology Mauritius who are, leading initiatives across the industry in Mauritius, be it in the public sector or in the private sector, wherever you go, you should at least go across, come across someone who has gone through the academic programs of the University of Technology Mauritius. So we are very proud of our delivery so far, and we have a lot of ambitions, not to say the least, for the future.
Yes.
I think the other thing good to mention over the last 24 years is the involvement of industry. The University of Technology Mauritius is probably one of the unique institutions in Mauritius where more than 30-40% of the programs, of the academic programs, are serviced by professionals from industry, from the public sector and the private sector. You won't find it anywhere in Mauritius.
True. This is a beautiful amalgamation of industrial experience and academic
Exactly,
teaching.
exactly. The sharing of experience from practicing professionals is something which, adds a lot of value to the academic programs which are offered by the University of Technology Mauritius. So our students, I would say, are very much privileged, more often, when you are in a university, you will have to depend on, the placements that you have in industry to be able to interact with professionals in industry. The University of Technology should get it as part of our academic programs. And I think the students who have been through the UTM have really appreciated this interaction with professionals from industry. So we, in fact, at some point in time, with the recruitment of additional academic staff and so on, we were thinking of reviewing that. But we realized that, this value addition, we shouldn't be giving away on that. So this is something that is maintained and will be maintained for the future, for the benefit of our students.
It's very inspiring to listen to you, DG, when it comes to the foundation of the University of Technology Mauritius, the path that it has brushed till date, from 2 schools, now 4, and then 5 schools. And then you spoke about the students' experience where they have industrial experience plus the academic qualifications. Now, in terms of the course content, how does the University of Technology Mauritius mold its courses? Because we all know that everyday things changes in terms of IT, in terms of modules, in terms of new things that cropped in. Does the university keep abreast all these changes in the course content?
We don't have a choice. This is something which is integrated as part of our offer. And over here, I think I should, in fact, pay tribute to all the staff of the university who have been over the years ensuring that our academic programs are aligned with the needs of industry. In fact, if you look around, you talk to people, people keep telling us, how comes you are able to change your programs, even before a whole cycle. And we realize that, you can't wait for 3, 4, 5 years to bring changes to academic programs. Yes. So by the very fact that you have professionals intervening in our programs, can tell you about, the relevance of the programs to the requirements of industry. You can't have someone, a practicing engineer, a practicing accountant, a financial, auditor, coming to intervene in our programs and teaching our students things which are obsolete.
Absolutely.
We won't have that.
No,
so that's the first thing. The second thing is, obviously, we have our partners from industry, and we have, their involvement in our boards and also in our advisory committees. So this is a structure which has been working for many years. And their involvement, you've got industry associations, who are part of our advisory boards and school boards. And they, keep us abreast of what should be done next. And fortunately, unfortunately, I think we are having to review our offer more often than we would expect ourselves. Today, you would, if you look at the offer of the UTM, you will realize that all our programs are aligned to the emerging needs, aligned to the changes. So if you talk about blockchain, you talk about AI, you talk about cybersecurity, you talk about renewable energy, you talk about financial services, you talk about trust administration, you talk about, the accountancy programs which are accredited by AMBA. So all these offers, the most recent one that is on our offer is industrial biotechnology,
Yes.
which is a pillar for the future. Renewable energy is a pillar for the future. And the offer that we have is for the future. We have already phased out all these programs which are not, which we feel will not have a demand in the future. And I think we should also realize that the jobs of the future are going to be completely different from what you have had so far. With the coming up of AI, not only in education but across sectors in Mauritius, you will have a number of functions which were done on a routine basis will probably disappear. So we are preparing, the workforce of the future, and we are very proud about that. It's not that I'm just trying to blow our own trumpet as you say that, but I'm very sincere in what we have been doing. I've been here for the last 2 years, but this university exists for 24 years. And I think full time we have adapted, and the future is I would say even unpredictable. The future is very disruptive, and we have to adjust. There are so many things coming up. At times when you think about it, when you think of AI, when you think of academic programs per se, we have always been through a system where you end up your secondary school, you join tertiary education, a university for 3 years or 4 years, at times 5 years, to acquire a degree, and then you join the labor force.
The traditional way.
But if that's the traditional way.
Yes.
But in 10 years' time, I doubt that this system will continue to exist as it is.
No.
I can see, for instance, companies, and that's the demand side. Companies, public sector, private sector organizations, they are looking for specific skills.
Exactly.
And they are not looking for a certificate of 3 years or 4 years or 5 years.
Talent.
Can you do that? Do you have those talents?
True.
Do you have those skills? If you have it, they are not bothered about you've done a 3 or 5 year degree. And that's the trend.
Yeah.
In 10 years' time, people would be willing to come to the university, acquire a skill, acquire competence, and go out and go and practice and come back and update, continuous, learning and development. And we are moving in an era of what we call of micro credentials. I'm sure you're aware of that. And micro credentials and AI will completely change the landscape of higher education. And at times we are worried, as academics, you're worried, where do you position yourself in this drastic, change? And we will obviously continue to have a role to play in this new setup. And people, not only students, academics, administrative staff, universities as a whole, will have to rethink the model in which they have been operating. I'm sorry, I can see you here a little bit.
I'm just formulating the question. I mean, everything will be changing, but the challenges will always be there. What is UTM doing in terms of keeping pace with those new challenges, the upcoming new things because we all know that the T of University of Technology Mauritius refers to technology, which is the future. And the University of Technology Mauritius has always kind of catered and molded itself in a way to attract more students, change its courses, and till date, they have proved themselves worth its certificate because it's internationally recognized, and the courses are, designed as per market demand. Are you going abroad by a new campus that really kind of caters those challenges?
To answer your question, when I joined, in 2022, we, got everyone together to discuss on the future, to discuss on the challenges, and to come up with a plan.
Because why was the need to have the discussion for the new challenges?
Because not everyone is on board. Not everyone appreciate the disruptions that I've been talking about. Change management. Yes. Not everyone appreciates the difficulties and the new environment in which we are embarking. Agreed. Not everyone. So you had to bring everyone together to share, what you foresee would happen in the future, and make sure that everyone is working towards, adapting to that future. Right. So that was important. So we came up with, a strategic plan with 9 pillars, and there are a number of things that I'm not going to take you through that. You can always refer to our website for the strategic plan. But what is important is we listed, if you want, in a way, our priorities. One of the priorities was, looking at, academic programs and relevance, and that has been done, and we are very happy that our programs are internationally recognized. I always say that, I don't understand why people spend millions, to study abroad. It's good to have the experience, the culture and so on, which is good. But if you talk about the academic program, the quality of the program offered by UTM, we are at par with any university offering these programs locally or international. So that was one of our priorities. That has been done, and the programs are accredited and so on. So that's done. That was the first thing. The second thing is I talked about micro credentials. So we came up with a policy document for the offer of micro credentials. People are not fully aware of it right now, but this is something that will pick up, and we will allow our students to come in to acquire certain competences to acquire credits for those competences and leave and come back again. That sort of flexibility we will offer. It's already there, but people are not aware of it. So we are moving into micro-credentials. In fact, the country is coming up with a framework for micro-credentials, which is being headed by the Higher Education Commission. So this is something that will come fairly soon. The other thing is, obviously, infrastructure is always, you always dream to be
in a good building,
in a good building,
state-of-the-art building.
Of course. So we have now the design for the Kodo campus, which is now ready. We just need to find the investors, and we are betting, obviously, on the government to support us in this process. They have been supportive so far. That's why we are here. We already have our land on lease at Kodo. We already have our building plans and so on, which are ready. What is missing is to get, because this is going to be a BOT project where private investors would be investing, and then, over a period of time, they will recoup their investment. So that's the model that we are using. So we hope that, this will go through and will be able to provide, the state-of-the-art, type of campus that you would expect of a university. Unfortunately, UTM, when it was developed, the space was not really designed per se for a university. So we had to adapt and so on. We've done well so far, but with the vision that we have, this place would not be the ideal place. I've not mentioned yet, in the strategic plan, internationalization remains one of the priorities. And we have a plan to have at least 30% over the next 5 years, at least 30% of the students at UTM should be international students. This is a challenge in itself, because opening up to the world doesn't depend only on us. There are a number of stakeholders which need to provide the required services. Student accommodation is one of them. The whole issue of students adapting to the environment is another one of them. But I'm sure we are moving in a society where Mauritians are accepting, foreign students coming and integrating within our society. That's also a challenge,
It's also an additional income to them.
Of course. Yes. So, so we have this ambition, and we are sure this is something which we can easily achieve over the next 5 years. So we've got the Kodo campus, we've got internationalization, and I think what is important is we've developed a momentum over the last few years, and we shouldn't stop.
The work goes on.
Yeah.
Now, my next question to you, DG, is that under your directorship, what are the achievements that you have achieved, and how did the university progress in terms of ranking, recognition, and what are the challenges you face?
Well, I think I've said a lot in terms of what I've achieved, but it's not a personal thing.
It's a teamwork, definitely.
It's important to realize that we are together in this. And I'm very grateful. I can't stop saying that to the academic staff of the university and to all my team, administrative staff and so on, who, without them, nothing would have been possible.
It's a teamwork.
So we have put in place all the policies that is required, that is expected of a university. So I'm not going to, list the policies and so on. That is quite evident from, if you talk to any academic at the university or even administrative staff and so on, you will see that, people are more committed now, people are more happy now.
True.
You will always have a few who are never happy, but
That's normal.
that's normal, and it shouldn't be like that. It should be like that. You will always have that. But we have a very good relationship with everyone, and everyone is on board. That is fundamental for an institution to move. If you don't get everyone on board, then you will never be able to achieve success. Coming back to your question, I think it's important to mention this one in terms of ranking.
Yes.
I'm not a big fan of ranking,
But this is important.
but it is important to situate where you are, and I see ranking as something important for benchmarking ourselves with others,
Yes.
and also for identifying probably some of our weaknesses where we can
Always improve.
Yeah, and we participated for the very first time. UTM participated in the Times Higher Education ranking for Sub-Saharan Africa last year. The results were out, I think, in September last, and we did very well. And surprisingly enough, it's true, there are a number of things that, because it was the first time, we didn't submit all the documents and so on. There was shortcomings in but we came out, within the range 60 to 80.
Which is good.
For Sub-Saharan Africa.
Yes.
I've seen other universities, doing a lot of marketing out
No
of
ranking.
that. But we are very happy with that, but not, it was a starting point. And I should also mention that for the same exercise, UTM came first for the quality of its teaching.
Wow.
When compared to all the participating universities in Mauritius. So you can see, I mean,
It makes a difference.
it makes a difference. It's
Of UK,
which
right?
has
Yes.
of the UK who do this assessment exercise for the universities in Mauritius, and we came first.
For the first time that you tried.
For the first time that we tried. So
Which means
you
that
can't be
University
more
of
proud.
Technology has lots of potential, and it's a university which is growing, because it's really encouraging and to know that first time first. If I'm not mistaken, we have only 2 public institutions who got ranking in Mauritius.
Yeah, we've got the University of Mauritius who
Mauritius and University of
participated.
Technology.
Yeah, these are the institutions who participated.
That's differentiate you
But
among
you have
others.
other private universities who participated in the ranking. But we shouldn't stop here. I mean, this
Definitely.
is something we did it for the first time, and we have signed to participate in this exercise, over the medium to long term. So that, because that participation allowed us to identify a number of things where we need improvement. And I think that exercise also led us to participation in another ranking, which is associated to the changes that we are bringing. Yes, there are a number of policies that we have in place. But UTM is going to be the first university in Mauritius, unique one again, all its program across the board covers entrepreneurship. All programs, I repeat, whether it is health sciences, whether it is business, whether it is management, whether it is engineering, you mention it, whether it is sports, all programs.
Why the need of entrepreneurship?
That's the way forward. You know,
To have an entrepreneur mind?
Exactly. I talked about, the necessity for talents.
So you're building a resilient nation.
Exact.
Good.
We need people who have talents, who have certain skills which they can demonstrate.
True.
And having a module on entrepreneurship, does it mean you go and sit down for a lecture and you pass an exam? No. We are talking of entrepreneurship in the sense
Growing
that...
your own business.
Exactly. Providing a forum, providing the space to our students for them to be able to apply, what they've learned, to develop their ideas into prototype, and get it forward in terms of IPRs, patents, and so on. All programs. So we have 3,500 students at UTM. Every year we've got 700 plus who graduate. So every year we'll have 700 business ideas coming out.
700 miles with so many innovation and ideas. I mean, this is really encouraging because, truly speaking, University of Technology Mauritius, I have gone through the program document. Literally all the courses have placement. Some of the courses got community learning where the student goes and support the NGOs. And this is a very first in the public university. You have developed your courses as per market demand. Now you are bringing up entrepreneur modules. This is absolutely a model in Mauritius where we are heading, and we are contributing positively in a strong nation building. You can say that UTM is the cornerstone.
That's the only one I mentioned. There are so many things happening, The second major change that we brought to our academic programs is all programs, I repeat, all programs will have an element of the SDGs. All programs.
Which is aligned with UNESCO.
It's a requirement for us to be, conscious of the SDGs, and for our students to be aware of what they are.
And
if you are in the field of health sciences, if you are in the field of business management, engineering, and so on, I'm not saying that each program covers the 17 SDGs, not at all.
it's going to be specific.
What I'm saying is it's relevant to the program. So if you're talking of engineering, then the impact of engineering on economic activities, on society, is integrated in the program.
With sustainable development and everything.
Exactly.
Good.
So someone graduating from the University of Technology, déjà, will have these two already as part of their skills.
In terms of
someone who has the ability to start a business, someone who is fully conscious of the SDGs, and how do we mitigate the impact of economic activities and so on. So these are two, and then you have others: teamwork, leadership, the soft skills.
important.
Again, is part and parcel of our academic programs, but that one is part of, you mentioned about placement and so on. So we are integrating it over there.
And also
right?
pastoral care, right?
Yes. So you can see we are, we always say that we align to market needs and so on, but that's not enough. If someone graduates from the university, they should be able to pave their own way. And in fact, we're preparing our students to pave their way in an uncertain world. This is what we are trying to do. even if you don't fit, let's say you've done software engineering and when you leave, the IT system has changed and so on, no problem. You can adapt, you
Still
can
come.
pave your way, you can develop things for yourself. That's the type of students that we are producing. Let me just finish on, you talked about initiatives. We've got what we call a research fund at the UTM. This year, we came up with a policy that the fund would be available to academics, but under two conditions. One, the research that they do, there should be the involvement of an external stakeholder in the research, which means for whatever research project which is funded by the university, it has to be collaborative with industry or the public sector organizations. So you can't have a research done within the four corners
And
of
it's
the
not
university.
contributing to the society.
Exactly.
Makes
So
sense.
it has to be connected to, and we need to have it's already happening. We have the private sector as part of our research initiative. So that's one condition. The second condition is, again, it has to be linked to any one of the SDGs. So you can see even the research is aligned, to what people are expecting us to do. And today the buzzword in terms of research is impact.
Yes.
How do you
Impactful.
make a difference? You've done a research. There are the outcomes which are there. How is that going to be useful to the government? How is that going to be useful to the industry? If you don't share that, or if it is not going to be useful, we are wasting our money and our time.
Yes.
So we are making sure that whatever we do is value addition for the society. And that's the type of vision that we are carrying forward for UTM. And I'm very pleased with, all my colleagues who support this, this vision. I'm very passionate. Well, I'm trying my best to, get everyone as passionate as I am, but it's coming up, and I'm sure within the next 4-5 years, you will see a different UTM.
In conversation with the Director General of University of Technology Mauritius, Dr. Dinesh Kumar Hariram, well, we've talked about the impactful contribution, the positive contribution of the students and the academics in terms of research with the private sectors. At the end, your message to all the viewers of M News.
Well, I think there are perceptions, even I had a perception about UTM, and at times you have perception about other universities and so on. I think it's important before you, have, or after you have a perception, you've got to test it.
Sure.
You've got to put it to test. You've got to check whether the perception is correct or not.
We don't judge the book by its cover.
Exactly. You can't leave.
Exactly.
And at times, perceptions are very misleading
True.
until you get the
Opportunity to live it.
Exactly. So I would as a message, I think we probably need to open up more to the public. Let people come and see us and meet us and discuss with us. For the students, obviously, we have open days. We discuss with their requirements
Parents
and
and
the
all
parents and so on. But UTM is a great team. It's a great place to be, and I'm very happy that we We have a lot of people joining us, so we are building up the team of the future. And I think the sector as a whole will have to bear with UTM, for whatever achievements that we will carry forward.
That was a very inspiring and indeed motivational talk and conversation with the Director General of University of Technology Mauritius. And as the motto goes, leaders choose UTM. We invite all the leaders, all the students, all the leads to come and join us for the April and October intake. Thank you very much, Dr. Dinesh Kumar Harira, Director
welcome.
General, University of Technology Mauritius. Thank you.
Thank you.
Avec News Mauritius.